Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another episode of our RimWorld Warhammer 40k Let's Play. So I have been able to recover our save, luckily, and so we're picking back up where we left off in the previous episode that happened before this whole mess. Luckily, I had many of my mods backed up for this playthrough, and the ones that weren't backed up I was able to find through the Ludion forums, through RimWorld base, and other websites like that. So this playthrough now is being run on pretty much complete, or like 99% manual installs of the mods, so it should be untouchable unless the developer completely removes the beta 18 version of the game from Steam, which they shouldn't do for a while, like a very, very long while. Most of the alpha versions are still up for RimWorld, and so I can't imagine the beta 18 version going anywhere anytime soon. But mods should no longer be a problem because, again, they're all manual installs now, and it was incredibly tedious to do. I had to go back and rebuild my mod list from scratch. I basically just took I went through like line by line and took it one at a time and made sure that I matched every single mod and the order perfectly so that there was no issues. I'm going to try to go back and do the same thing with our Star Wars playthrough. I may have to backtrack a little bit in terms of saves there because we did play on a little bit, and I think I can actually get back a lot more than I did because I was kind of rushing on that one. I was rushing on all of them really, but I had a few days. I basically spent the weekend trying to fix this, and so I think I've got it. I'm confident I'll be able to get the World War I playthrough back as well. I haven't finished that yet, but if I was able to get this one back, I'm pretty sure I can do the World War I one too. I don't think that there's anything that'll be a problem in there, but we'll see. Okay, so let's see. Everybody's having a party right now, so just having fun in general there. Nothing else is really going on in the base. We're breaking ground on our sort of like mortar area here. This is all going to be open air so that we can fire mortars to any location on the map, and then we'll have storage areas connected. And I think I'm going to turn these into little pillboxes, maybe like two separate ones here, and we'll clear this little bit out so that we can put some turrets or something in here and fire on anything that comes through. I don't want to draw too much attention to this particular area though. I want the enemies coming in the front, because we do know that they like to come in from the southern half of the map and work their way past here. This corner tends to take a lot of fire, and so if I put more pillboxes with more people drawing attention here, that might compound the problem. So we'll see. I may not end up doing it, but I kind of want to at least try. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. There's some other minor things happening. We're still adding floors in here, and I think some conduits in particular areas. In fact, I just noticed an issue. Let's see, right here, that needs to get fixed. And then we'll deconstruct that. Hold on, there looked like more issues. Yeah, that should have a conduit. That's probably fine like that, to be honest, but I could run it around too. That should have a conduit. That should have a conduit. Obviously, that's not going to have one yet. I'll run some through here as well, just for more redundancy, and then once this is mined out and walled, we'll run one through there to connect it here. Otherwise, I think we're doing pretty good here. Let's see. This is all being deconstructed as well. It's going to be replaced with limestone walls so that everything will match, and then this is going to get sealed off completely. We'll mine this out so that they can enter from here, and then it'll of course be connected there. I don't think there's going to be any entry from this point. I am probably going to completely deconstruct this and do some limestone walls maybe right along here. And we'll just make this into a very small guest area or something to that effect. But yeah, that's the plan. So while they party, I'm going to run the clock and jump to the world map. And we have a couple things here that need our attention. Not immediately, or at least not necessarily, but things that we will want to do. So we had this item stash for orbital bombardment targeter. These are really valuable. They're one use, but it's a very powerful weapon, so it is worth going and claiming. We have 20 days to do that though, so there's absolutely no rush. And there's a couple of outposts that I'd like to take out as well, especially this one, because I wouldn't mind another Browning machine gun, or heavy stubber as we've been calling them. They are pretty solid as turrets go. I don't love the fact that they need to be manned, but they are often more effective than some people's weapons. And what I'm finding is that even the party's over. Even the characters that aren't particularly good at shooting can man them fairly effectively. And certain characters that I have that might be armed with different, maybe less effective weapons. For example, Murgo is carrying a Weber. And eventually Jackal will have one as well. And so those two, while primarily dealing with our prisoners and needing weapons that are non-lethal to keep those prisoners in line without killing them, during a raid can jump on those guns and use those, and then they don't have to necessarily use their Webers in a fight where they want a lethal weapon. So that's a thought. We also have the cannon as well, the 120mm cannon. That does need to be manned so that it can be loaded. We have, I think, 5 shells for it now, so that's doing pretty well. But anyways, back to here. I would really like to do this. It's a day's travel out and roughly a day's travel back, so that's something to consider. We can do that fairly quickly. I think we might send them out to do that in the morning even. I'm going to give this one some time, and on the way back, if things are looking good, if nobody's hurt or anything and we have plenty of room in our inventory, I think I'd like to maybe hit this, or at least scout it out. We can, of course, enter that area and then retreat if we decide that, maybe we're not quite prepared enough. So I want to at least take a peek at it on our way back. If everybody is in fighting shape. If we're a bit beat up, we'll just double time it back here and unload, whatever we end up picking up from that place, which potentially we could get some good loot because it is an outpost. So they'll have usually meals and weapons and building materials from things that we recycle. But yeah, anyways, everything should be 100% recovered in this playthrough, so we're not going to have any weird issues like the Star Wars one. At least we shouldn't. The only thing I can imagine becoming a problem is there's no way for me to really tell which version of a mod was running in the playthrough. Capybaras wandering by. I'm just going to leave them alone because I don't really need the meat. Let's see. Yeah, I've got a lot of Tyranids in there and a lot of meat just sitting around. Although we did lose a lot of food, but I think we'll recover from that fairly quickly. Plant food is what not plant food, plant-based food, not food that you give to plants. But yeah, we did lose a bit. We should recover that. Somebody's got a go frenzy. And I completely lost my train of thought there. Oh well. It's not important. Or maybe it was, I don't remember. Okay, that's getting filled in. I need to figure out how I'm going to do this. I'm probably just going to wall this straight across double thick. We're going to leave a 3-wide hallway right here, which means we will need to mine and deconstruct a bit of that. And then double it up here. I'll probably get rid of the door, because eventually this area will be accessible from here, possibly. I don't know if I want to do that necessarily. It's a difficult call, because I don't know that there's really anything there that we need to access, other than maybe the APC coming and going. Oh, I remember what I was saying. I don't know why that just came back to me, but there's no way for me to check which mod version I'm running other than for which version of the game it is. So obviously I know I'm running like the beta 18 version of a mod, but there can be multiple releases of a mod for a specific game version. And so there's no way for me to, again, tell which one I had. And that can cause problems. Because it's the same mod, the problems won't be significant, or at least they shouldn't be significant. But there is potential for issue there. What I did is I just went through and I downloaded the most up-to-date version of the mod for beta 18, because I'm assuming that's probably what would have been available on Steam Workshop, but I don't know that for sure, so we'll see. But the fact that the map loaded is a good sign, and the fact that we haven't, had anything game-breaking happen so far is a good sign. I don't think we'll see any problems, but just know that that is a possibility. We have, Thrumbos. I don't really need to do anything with them either. I could kill them pretty easily, given our firepower, but I don't have any desire to. Let's see. I would also like to maybe run some more lights through here. Actually, it's looking pretty decent. I want to get these floors down. And it looks like we'll have room for 3 more people at least. I was mapping this out, and there's really no more room for us to build this way. So what I'm probably going to do is just mine this out and replace it with a clean wall. But the build limit, I think, is like right here. So we'd only have like maybe 3 tiles to work with. Not really worth it. But we are going to hollow this out and utilize it as, I guess, like a fortress monastery type thing. That's where all the Space Marines will be located when we have them. Also, I think Sisters of Battle will be in there too. We'll just lump them together. Let's see. An animal's starving because it's too dumb to find its way out of there. Nothing I can really do. Once they pass out from starvation, somebody will come along and rescue them and feed them, so it's not the end of the world. Alright, let's speed things up a little bit, and then again in the morning we're going to get our away team together and go take out that outpost. If we're looking good on the way back, again, I will also hit the base, or at least scout the base, and if we decide that it is something that we can probably do, then I will go ahead and hit it. But we'll see. It's going to depend on a lot of factors, and I don't love the idea of just taking it with a 5-man team. I'd like to have more than that, but I also don't like the idea of completely vacating my base for an attack, just because it leaves us so vulnerable if anything happens. You've seen those Tyranid raids that we get. They are pretty nasty, although the last one was manageable because they were all melee. As long as they don't send the Tyrannocytes, we seem to be able to deal with Tyranids pretty easily. But when they send the Tyrannocytes, things get a whole lot more difficult. Let's see, he's got another, or I say another, but that's going to be our first anti-material turret. Although, I've got to say, in our Star Wars playthrough, I wasn't particularly impressed with them. They shoot slow. They do a lot of damage, and so it might be worth having 1. Or maybe 2. 1 on each side, maybe, but I think they're far better suited to heavy targets than they are small targets. And generally it feels like we're getting a lot of medium stuff thrown at us, nothing too big, or at least nothing too difficult to kill. We haven't faced any Chaos Marines though, so that might change. If that were the case, I imagine those would be very helpful, but until they become a regular occurrence, I don't know how viable those turrets are going to be. Alright. Okay, you deconstructed all that for me. That's nice. Got some more granite. Let's go ahead and order up the removal of those floors as well. And how are we doing down here? Okay. I'm actually just going to have them fill this in completely. That was the intent in the first place. I don't know why I felt there needed to be like a passage there, but there really doesn't. And we're going to have them wall this in as well. Oh, I meant to add another one here. But yeah, we want that to remain separate. And let's see, it's 10 o'clock, so let's start putting an away team together. You're making me shells. I would like you to finish that, actually. You're building... Do I want to send Bragg? I don't know. I'll send Remy for sure. Zarena, you're cleaning. And then we have Reyna and Ren. Reyna has the Exodus sniper rifle, Ren doesn't. So I'll probably send... I'll let Zima and Bragg finish what they're doing, but I'll send those two, Remy and Zarena, and then Reyna. That way we have all 5 in carapace armor, and we have everybody with the best quality weapons we have available. Because I do think even a basic las gun is a little bit more deadly than a standard sniper rifle at the moment. But we'll see. Are you incapable of cleaning? Yeah, unfortunately. So she's basically incapable of everything. Huh. That's a shame. I have no idea what to really do with her. We could, like, make a cryptosleep casket and just put her on the ice whenever she's not fighting. But I don't know that I really care to do that. I guess it's less food consumption, but it's not like food is really a problem for us. Okay, Reyna is... Oh, she's fixing these. Okay. Well, she'll probably fix them and then walk over here and recycle them. By the way, how are we doing over here? Okay, no. Let's stop you there. I'll send you here. Bragg. Let's get you over here as well. Remy, time for you to wake up. Zarena. Let's get you over here as well. And then Reyna, I know you're mending stuff, but somebody else can do that. I need you to run over here. And that'll be our team. Also, we need to look at some more power production. However we decide to do that. I would like to be able to crank out just a little bit more power, because the fact that these aren't full does concern me just a little bit. Alright, let's load the operator. I always let Bragg drive. And then we'll load up Zima, the commanding officer. Remy, probably the next highest rank. And then the other two are fairly new. I haven't really decided. Alright, so there's our group. Let's jump back to the world map and form a caravan with just the APC. I think we're going to need about 3 days worth of food maximum. So how much will that get us? 4.3. Yeah, let's just do that. That's easier than me trying to micromanage it. So they'll have plenty of food. And obviously, whatever they don't use, they'll just bring back. Chem fuel, let's make sure they have an extra 200. So they have an entire extra gas tank if necessary. If I could just get the game to unlock itself. There we go. It is very laggy managing these caravans with the APCs. But we'll make it work. It's so much more convenient just to have them still. Oh no, it's going to overwrite that. Okay, 2-0. I'm not going to mess with it any further. No clicking around. Got it. Okay, now we just need a bit of medicine. Alright, there it is. We had 125. Okay, here it is. I think 20. I mean, 20 is probably overkill, but it's just sitting there, so let's bring a good amount of it. And that way we don't need to worry about being stingy. Alright, and then config. Crap. I know we're going north, but I don't know what the best vector is. Let's just go due north and hope that's right, because I don't have to deal with that all over again. Okay, so let's lock that in. Yeah, that should be more than enough. I did check it before I started recording, and it is a day to that outpost. Actually, I think they probably wanted to go northwest. Oh well. Let's see. No, actually. They wanted to go northeast. They're going to come out here, which might be a problem. It'll slow them down a little bit, but I don't think it'll slow them down significantly. Oh well. We'll leave them to that. And we'll see how that goes. I don't know if they'll arrive in this episode or not, but we'll try to keep things moving fairly quickly just so that we can maybe handle that today. If not, it's not a big deal. Where's the compacted steel at? Oh, nice. It's always nice if we can get resources for something that we were going to mine out anyways. Caravan is ready. Let's handle that. Alright, yeah, we came out in the wrong place, but that's fine. So we wanted to go here and attack that outpost. 0.6 days going that way. All right, fair enough. Well, I mean, this APC is faster than the estimated speed, so we're always going to be faster than that, given that we're taking the same path. Now, this path is slightly less efficient, so I would wager that had we come out to the northeast or east, we would have gone this way, and it probably would have been like 0.3 days or something, but this is still less than we had assumed, so it's fine. Rotten 2.6. Nothing in our inventory should be able to rot. It's all pemmican. Oh, people have simple meals on them. That's probably what it's counting. Well, as long as they eat that first. But yeah, simple meals last about 3 days, so that makes sense. Okay, yeah, we need to continue filling this in. Make sure that's all double walled. We'll do this as well, or should I do it on the outside? You know what? No, we'll keep it in line with that. And this will need to get double walled as well. I think I'll do it here though. This is going to need to get moved. Let's just reinstall it there for now. But yeah, that'll preserve the amount of space we have here for our Shrine to the Emperor, as well as our Mausoleum. Let's get those out of the way. Orbital Arms Dealer. I'd like to look into that, actually. Murgo, I think you've been handling that for us. 15, yeah. I can't imagine anybody else being too much higher. Oh, and perfect. You're right here anyways. So let's have a chat. What do they have? So they have a 50 cal anti-material gun. They also have the 25 and the 40 millimeter guns, and another 120. I'm not super keen on another 120. From what I've heard from you guys, it's not that great. It's powerful, it's just not very practical. So I'm more interested in the 40 and the 25, especially because I'm fairly certain that they don't require any ammo. For the 120, we have to make the shells, or we can buy them, but either way, we have to have shells to load into it. With the 50 cal, we don't, and that's actually automated as well. I think the 25 and the 40 work in the same way as the 50. So I actually would like one of those. Now, these are just the guns. We actually have to build the turret still, the base, that is. So that's something to think about. What will they buy from me? That's probably a better place to start. I already have an orbital power beam targeter. We're getting the bombardment, so we have like 2 different options if we want to rain death on people. Molotovs, EMPs, none of these are going to sell for a lot. I'll sell the stub carbine. Plasma pistol I wanted to keep. I'll sell these 2 stubs as well. Let's see. I have a macro stubber. We'll get rid of that. And we'll get rid of our radium carbine and our transuronic arquebus. Ooh, plasma cannon. Awesome. But yeah, we'll unload all of our Mechanicus stuff for now, because those can easily be replaced if we need to. We have Necron weapons as well. Do they have any gene seed? I think the only place we can actually get gene seed is from the rogue traders, I want to say. So yeah, I don't think they would have it here, and it doesn't look like they do. It's a shame that they don't have Imperial weapons, because I wouldn't mind some. They have another M2, but I don't think that's necessary. We're about to get one for free, and that is kind of expensive for what is arguably just adequate a weapon. It's not great. It just, you know, it's good enough. So, let's see. I think either way I'm better off selling these, because the value of these weapons is significantly higher than what I'm getting. Yeah, market value is almost 4,000. So this is actually lowering the value of my colony, which makes us less tempting a target, I guess. So yeah, let's unload those. And the Staff of Light. That puts me at almost all of the silver that they have. The thing is, I don't really have anywhere to store all that silver. So I'm wondering, I'll do a little bit of it. I'll do everything but that staff, because the staff only takes up 1 tile to store, and it's worth a lot. And in return, I think I'd like a 25mm chain gun. I could get a 40mm as well. It's actually very tempting. I kind of want to try them each. So we'll do 1 and 1. How about that? And that still gives me a good amount of silver. I could go ahead and sell, and maybe I should sell this, because again, for the reasons I mentioned, this is actually making us a less tempting target, because this thing is worth almost 44,000. So in terms of raid calculations, it's counting against us at almost 44,000. But if I sell it, we get about 13,000, and so that's obviously counting against us a lot less just by liquidating it and getting the silver. So that would leave us with 15,000 silver, 2 new turrets that we'll need to build the bases for, but that we'll be able to kind of test out. And we already have 6,000 silver, so that puts us well on our way toward getting some gene seed. I think that is pretty much all we can ask for. Anything else? I've got various grenades here and there, but I don't think it's worth selling those. None of this is going to turn me any significant profit, nor is any of that. I could buy or sell components, but I don't think I need them. I mean, I always need components, but we're manufacturing them already. I could buy medicine, but it's the same deal. We're manufacturing that. I could sell medicine. I don't have any available in my orbital trade beacon, though. I say let's just leave it right here. I think this is adequate. I could buy shells too, but we're making them, so I think it'll be fine. I don't want to buy a bunch and then it turns out this completely sucks and I'm not going to use it. So let's just leave it with what we have here. I think that'll be perfectly fine. And generally they airdrop our stuff in this general area. Oh yeah, there they are. Yeah, please get those under a roof for me. And we'll need to look at building the bases for them. So, if we go to security, chain gun is going to cost us 800 steel, 22 components, and the gun itself. That is incredibly expensive, but we can't afford it. How much steel do we have? Almost 6,000. Yeah, we can afford that. Oh, it looks like it does need to be manned. Well, that's unfortunate, but I wager it's still better than an M2 machine gun. I think I'll put it here. And then that was the chain gun. I still have... Ah, there we go. That's a 40 centimeter naval gun. This was a... Wait, 28 centimeter. Ours was a 40 millimeter? 40 millimeter naval gun. Is that not the same as this? No, it couldn't be. This is way bigger. Oh, it's over here. Duh. And obviously that's a bigger gun, too. It looks like it's 3x3. Yeah. That is a sizable weapon. Rapidly fires at enemies, deals extra armor-piercing damage if the round has a direct hit, needs to be manned. So that also needs to be manned. Again, I thought both of these were unmanned, but apparently the only one that is the 25. No, the 50. Sorry, the 50 cal. Where do I even put it then? That is a difficult call. I'd like to have it. The issue is I don't know that these are movable. I don't think they are. So let's hold off on that one. I'm going to be a little bit more strategic in the placement of that. Because that's a big old gun. And the 28 centimeter would be just an absolute massive weapon. I think that's the one that's basically a battleship cannon. Like, they've basically removed like it's effectively a turret on a battleship and turned it into like a self-sustaining turret or whatever. Not self-sustaining, but you know what I mean. A independent turret. But yeah, that is a bummer that they need to be manned. I was really hoping for just some automated 25mm carnage out of this, but that's fine. I mean, again, that is going to do a lot more damage than, say, a Weber. So anybody using a Weber can jump on this and wield it for us. And we'll probably do the same with a few of the other weapons. Obviously, this needs somebody loading it. The mortars will need people loading them. I don't care about accuracy so much on that. Why would you work up so close to the end there and then not finish? Yeah, like you may as well. Construction 16, you're basically there. Boom, there we go. Steel chain gun. Looking forward to this. I'm going to disconnect it right now. Sylvia, when you're done with that, can you come flip the switch there? I don't want that drawing off our grid if there's no need for it. Obviously, when the raid starts, we'll go and turn it back on, but that's 1,000 watts that would have been wasted otherwise. And we do need more power. I noticed our batteries are getting lower. Can I squeeze another one of these in here? No, I can put them up there, but they'll probably get destroyed. I think I'm going to have to do it out here, which I don't love the prospect of. Those tend to get smashed, but I can't seem to really help that. Also, could look at that. And we have this one too. Neither is ideal though. Just because they're very vulnerable out there. So, I don't recall there being any more of these. I think we've taken advantage of most of them, other than the two that we saw there. So I think it's going to have to be one of these. And we'll just have to do what we did here and kind of wall it off as best we can. So yeah, let's do that. And we'll preemptively set up the other stuff. I'll run a conduit like so. And then let's get some of these security walls set up. Do I need to do a different one? I think these are automatic. I think just the gates require you to place them. Kind of weird. Like there's two different gates. There's a vertical gate and then there's a regular gate. Yeah, so we want these. Okay, and that should sort of protect it. That's, again, also why I wanted these pillboxes set up here, because often the enemy will stop and attack these, and obviously that is a problem for us, because, you know, we have to rebuild them, and it's a waste of resources, and, you know, all that stuff. Let's see here. This is all limestone. Let's go ahead and set this up. It's going to need to be airlocked, because this is going to be an outdoor space. We're going to have to remove the overhead mountain from a lot of it, I would imagine. But it needs to be open to the air, that way the mortars can fire. Obviously, if there's a roof over it, they can't fire. So we'll need to figure that mess out. How are you guys doing? You're almost there. Almost there. Okay. So I have a new stockpile set up for our silver. So it should all end up here. Anything that overflows from this will stay there. But otherwise, I have this set to be the main priority. Let's take a look at what Caravan 1 has to deal with. Oh, I wasn't fast enough. Let's look at what they are up against. We don't have time to deal with this today, but we'll at least be able to scout it out and then fight it in the next episode. So it looks like they are built into the mountains. This is actually a pretty good strategic location for them. So we are dealing with the Dark Bangers. They're carrying mostly ballistic weapons, chain shotguns, assault rifles, knives, bolt action rifles. Nothing too deadly, nothing on the same level as like a 40k weapon. So I'm not too concerned there as long as we fight this intelligently. Let's see. Potentially we could sneak into their base right here. This is not blocked. And we would have cover. So that's a thought. We could maybe attack. The thing is, I don't trust our ability to get around without drawing their attention. So there's a couple of things we could do. We could try to go this way. I don't think we'd be able to get very far this way. I think they would attack us and we'd be at a disadvantage because they kind of got the drop on us. Also, we need to watch out for that cougar. the cougar could kill somebody if we aren't careful. So, yeah, I think coming around this way, I don't see any turrets, but destroying this would cut power to their base in case there is any. Otherwise, it might be better to leave it, and then we can deconstruct it for parts. This isn't a terrible firing position right here behind these chunks. I think this is going to be our main assault here. And then I have to decide whether or not I want to maybe send 2 people in from behind here, just to give them all sorts of trouble. But they would be very vulnerable there, because people could flank them. So yeah, that is a concern. We'll see. I've got some time to think about it, but that is going to do it for today. So we're making progress on the base as usual. I am really looking forward to having a lot more static defenses set up. The mortars are going to be absolutely amazing at just raining death on people. And these turrets are going to be very, very deadly compared to our standard, man-portable weapons. So I think our overall capabilities are going to be significantly improved. Obviously, we'll need a raid to test that. Not wishing for one, just saying that, that is going to be necessary if we want to see how good they are. And I do want to try this out too, but I'm worried that it's not going to be that great and we're probably just going to have to tear it down. But if so, fine. Hopefully we get the actual gun back and I can sell it, and that'll put us even closer to getting some gene seed. But that's really our #1 priority now. Obviously we can't rush it. It's just something that's going to take time, but that's going to be our main long-term goal, is getting gene seed. In terms of research, let's wrap that up, because I don't think you guys actually got to see any of this time around. But right now, we just finished servo skulls. I'm going to start crafting those whenever I can, hopefully sooner rather than later. We're doing the tier 3 augments right now, which are the Astartes augments. Those are required for creating Space Marines, and they're also required to research the Astartes power armor. So we're getting there. We're getting there. With that, thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time playing some RimWorld with you. I'm glad that we were able to recover this series and continue on. Like I mentioned in the Star Wars playthrough, just because this version of the game is now out of date and will only continue to get more outdated, we probably should try to start working towards some sort of end goal at some point. I don't know what that's going to be, but we should at least consider it now, because there is no guarantee that we'll be able to play this forever, and there's no guarantee that we'll be able to play it for even another couple months. So anyways, thank you guys again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you back here for the next episode.